Hi there, my name is Toby and this is Body Efficiency Training. On this video we're going to be doing lecture number 6 in my Magickal Science Lecture series, and this is a very interesting one because we're crossing over into the spirit world. We're talking about states of consciousness. Now, up until now we've been working on the physics of the universe. How does the whole universe work? How is it formed, and how does life emerge? And how does life emerge from pure consciousness, pure spirit? And we're going a bit deeper into that today. And in this video, we're going to be also touching upon a topic that is going to be pretty radical. So I'm warning you now, but do stick with me. If you can get to this part of the lecture and get through it, I suspect some of you at this point will not believe it and some of you will believe it. So it won't be new to all of you, but I suspect it's going to be very new to most of you. And it will open a doorway to a very big discussion that we're working up to as well. And that is about the world that we're living in, the society that we're living in. But today, let's start by recapping where we've got to. We've got to a universe that is created from pure spirit. We have pure spirit, that is ether. Pure spirit, that is ether. And this pure ether, this pure spirit creates the material world. It creates energy, and energy creates matter. And in between all these three things we've got life, which is where we are. But life is a combination of spirit, energy and matter. These three things are required to create life and to sustain life. And remember, all of these things happen under the law. There is a law, a natural law. A natural law, a universal law, and that law is mathematics. The only law of the universe is mathematics, and the mathematics that is required to build this universe that we live in is the mathematics of the golden ratio phi. This is a Greek letter. Phi represents the golden ratio. It is 1.161 something. It's an irrational number. And just an aside, an irrational number means this goes on and on forever. But that means there is a concept of infinity is built into this irrational number. The fact that irrational numbers exist, they go off for infinity, means infinity exists. So it's very, very important. So this world of infinity is the world of the spirit, the world of the ether. It's the world of irrational numbers. But down here in the material world, this is limited. We have limited energy down here. But really energy is unlimited. We want to access this unlimited energy, and we can access this unlimited energy in technology, and we can access it in our body. And that's what this is all about. That's what this channel is about, and that's what these lectures are about. Let's build up life again once more. Life is a combination of these three things, spirit, energy and matter, but it's a level of complexity. Out of these three things, we have more and more complexity built up until we get to life. So we start with the neutron. The neutron is the fundamental particle, the neutron, and again, see previous lectures to see more about this. The ether, the infinite, let's call it infinity, becomes the neutron through the energy. The neutron becomes an atom. So now we've got an atom, which is a bit bigger, and there's an electron spinning around. But remember, electron is not a particle. There is only one particle. It's a standing wave. There's only one solution to the one field to have a standing wave. That's the neutron and the proton. And this leads to the atom. And also, remember, we've also got polarized and depolarized matter. But all of that builds up to compounds. So now we've got chemistry, different atoms linking together. We've got chemistry. So now we've got more and more stuff. And then from chemistry, we're moving into biology. So we get more complex bits and bobs, things all linked together, different compounds, different solutions, all different substances, and this level of complexity moves up to the DNA. So at the DNA level, this is where life. This is where life really begins, at the DNA. We have to have a DNA to have life. DNA is the minimum layer of complexity. The minimum layer of complexity that will allow self-replication. and self-similar replication. And remember, this ability to self-replicate in a similar way, always slightly different, it's always slightly different, comes from the mathematics of phi. That is the golden ratio. This is the mathematics required to have this. And mathematics, the phi, will also be part of the construction of the DNA itself. And DNA is very interesting because this connects to energy, radio waves, light waves, energy waves. They resonate with this shape. So DNA is the first layer of complexity that allows us to interact. It allows spirit or information or consciousness to interact with this. So not only is this made, there's a certain level of complexity, information is required to make this, but it is that all these little building blocks work together. All these little building blocks work together to make this, but nevertheless there's a certain amount of complexity, a plan, a blueprint to make this. So not only is this itself information, it also is a system of receiving information, radio waves, light waves, this picks it up. So this thing can receive information from pure spirit, and this information tells it what to do to divide and keep growing, keep changing. That's what makes this life. Now, so from here, after this, now we have bacteria and cellular organisms. So we've got bacteria. Now this is where we're going to get contentious, because we've got to talk about these things also. These things come in here. I'm going to write it down, but I'm going to call this a virus. This is a virus. I don't want to say the actual word because of the YouTube algorithm. But at this point here, we have these viruses. But what are they? What are they? And even modern science, they don't class this as a living form. It does not have its own DNA. So apparently this is a sort of semi-living thing that will piggyback off existing DNA and replicate itself. But actually, and again, this is, you're going to have to look into this. I'll leave a link below to a very, very good lady, Dr. Sam Bailey. She's one of the people who talk about this in great detail. But there are others. There are serious scientists that will say what I'm about to say. And there's a big movement to get this out there. But a virus, right, does not exist. Does not exist. So this is the radical statement I'm making. Now already, modern science say this is not quite a life form. But what is it? But my point is, what modern science says this is not true. There has never been any evidence, ever, of a virus infecting and self-replicating. Never. So what are they looking at? They're looking at fragments of DNA. You've got little fragments of DNA, and not complete DNA and RNA, all different bits and bobs. So at this level, you've got all different building blocks swimming about. All different building blocks, and these will be pulled together, but they will be pulled together with nothing more than the two basic forces, dielectricity and magnetism, or as I was talking about in the last lecture, gravity and polarized gravity. So these things are just under the influence of the force. They're free floating things. And so people are looking at these, they're looking at these under the microscope. These are very, very small. And they're looking at them and thinking, oh, well, maybe that bit of thing there fits in here. And because it's both DNA, these things fit together. But it doesn't do anything, and it doesn't mean anything. Now, again, you're going to have to do some research yourself, but put very simply, you've got to look into terrain theory and germ theory. And these things, the original meaning of this word virus was poison. It's actually just a poison. So we do have poisons, we do have toxins, but we do not have viruses. This is one less thing to worry about. And if you can get your head around this, you will realize this is the biggest scam, the biggest scam of the medical industry. And there are big scams, there are big scams happening. And this is a thing that makes us all worried, the thing that makes us all scared, and we don't have to worry about this. Now, again, I should qualify a tiny bit, but you see, to discover a virus, to find a virus, you have to do a lot of processes to the cell. You've got to take some samples and you've got to mix them with solvents, you've got to blend them up, you've got to distill them, you've got to do many things before you can extract the virus and see, before you can extract the virus and see what it is. So all the experiments that have been done on this have never had a control next to them. So you have never observed a virus in its natural state doing anything ever. You can only observe this through a lot of processes. So the scientists that are working on this, they believe it because they can look at all these things, they can analyze the bits and bobs, and look, it fits in there. It fits in there perfectly. And we can put a few together. Look, let's make another one. These three fit together. Ah, we built one. And then that will fit in there. Look, it fits. It must do something. But it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. There is no evidence of this ever happening. Very hard to wrap your head around this. But again, if you go to look at this lady, Dr. Sam Bailey, I'll leave the link below, and if you research germ theory and terrain theory, you see germ theory was disproved a long time ago. I think it was called the Lancaster experiment, about 100 years ago. Even Louis Pasteur himself on his deathbed said that germ theory is nothing, terrain theory is everything. Even he let go of this, and it's not even this. Now, bacteria do exist. These are fine. But again, they're not what we say they are. They are not. We'll come to that in a second. But let's just finish this virus business. So these are just little bits and bobs moving about based on these two forces. But only and only when you put them together in the complete DNA, and there's going to be different types of DNA, but essentially it's got to be a DNA, only then will you have life. And remember, modern scientists do not classify this as life. So they themselves say, well, it's not alive. If it's not alive, how does it replicate? It can't replicate. Oh, well, it's a parasite. Well, a parasite implies this is alive. It's not alive. It's only moving under these two basic forces. None of these things are alive. They are made of spirit, the life force, but you can't call them alive. Only this is alive. Only this here, the life force, because the life force is a combination of spirit and matter put together in a particular plan. And this plan is based on the efficiency of this mathematics. Okay, you could say it's incidental they put together, but there is only one way that they can be put together, and it's governed by the law of mathematics. So only here we got life. Anyway, but the Lancaster study, just to tell you what they did, was they tried to infect some people. Again, it's in the military, so they had 100 or so soldiers, or I think they were sailors, Navy people, and they tried to infect them. They put them in a hospital with all infected people, coughing on them. You know, they even took swabs and put them in them. You know, we couldn't do that study today, but not a single one picked up an infection, picked up a contagion. And there's another important book called The Contagion Myth. The Contagion Myth. So again, I haven't read the book, but I know about it. Contagion Myth. If you want to look into it, this whole book explains this. But this is one of the big scams that is perpetrated upon us. This makes us feel very scared all the time. We're worried about little things attacking us. And this still moves up to bacteria. See, we are told bacteria essentially are bad. Oh, you've got to wash your mouth, get rid of the bacteria. Oh, you've got too many bacteria here and there. Bacteria, the whole of life is built upon this. You see, if you look at our body, let's just jump to our body. Our body, here is our body. Our body is just filled with cells. But these cells work together with bacteria. And in fact, there are more bacteria in our body than there are cells. And furthermore, inside our cells, here's our cell, here's the nucleus. Inside our cells, we've got mitochondria. And these are separate cells. These are separate little cellular organisms. And they live inside our cells. So these are not even us. But without these little bacteria, we wouldn't be alive. You see, life is an organization. Life is an organization. Organization. Is all these different bacteria, all these different bits and bobs organized together. And this organization of all these bits and bobs is what allowed a spirit to come down. The spirit is organizing these things. So we are not so much a body, we are a spirit or a soul. Remember, there's also a soul, which we talked about last one. We'll come back to that in a minute. But the soul is this singularity of spirit that is organizing all these bits and bobs together into a body. So we are not so much an individual, we are a community. We are a community of all these bits and bobs. So bacteria are our friends. And furthermore, we are a conglomerate of bacteria. So illness has got nothing to do with bacteria, it's to do with imbalance. Sickness is to do with imbalance. And again, that goes back to terrain theory and germ theory. Terrain theory says it's to do with your environment. Imbalances in your environment will knock you out of balance. That's what causes the illness. Germ theory says, well, no, nothing wrong with out there. It's just these little things coming and getting you. Now, if the universe was built like that, all these little things are out to get us. I mean, no big thing would survive. We'd have been long gone ago. A long time ago, we would have vanished. These little things are not out to get us. We are made of these little things. And these little things, even teenier, tinier, this is completely made up. There's no virus. This is just little bits and bobs sticking together. This is the primordial soup. This is the primordial soup from which DNA can emerge and from which life can emerge. But DNA only emerges because of this mathematics. And it's always been there. It's always been there, just like the neutron has always been there. Sorry, the neutron has always been there. Like the soul has always been there. So this is how life emerges. We are an organization. The life force is an organization, and that means it requires information. Information, because you need information to create an organization. You need a plan. And all of that is in the spirit. This is in the ether. The ether is outside space and time. This is non-physical. This is non-physical. So once more, you see how life builds up. And now we're going to go further up, how life evolves even higher. What are the higher levels of life? Well, now we go up further, what we've got. So let's just start from here. Human beings, here we are. So there's the human being. And this is a certain level of complexity. In there we've got the DNA, but we've got a combination of things. We've got a soul, and the seat of the soul is here in the middle. Let's change it. We've got a soul in the middle here. And we've got another center here, and this one here connects us to spirit. Here we're connected to spirit, which is the ether. This is all one and the same thing, which is the chi, which I also call inertia. I keep using all these words because it's very hard to define this. And all the different ancient traditions will have different words, different ways of explaining this. And they're all valid. You see, this is outside space and time, outside of experience. Very hard to put it into a single word. And we've also got the body, another energy center here. So this is physical matter. So here we've got physical matter, and this connects to matter. Okay, this connects to gravity, or the force, or the existing universe. And matter goes all the way down. Matter, as we go down, so from here all the way down to spirit, the soul is in the middle. The soul is halfway between spirit and matter. But matter, right down in matter, here I've got this lovely crystal. You can see this crystal. This is the most stable form of matter. So right down here at the bottom we've got crystal. So this is why crystals are very, very important. This is literally crystallized ether. Or this is spirit. This is crystallized spirit. This is spirit that is locked. Spirit has come down, created energy, created matter, and as it comes down to create matter, matter has got locked up into a crystal. This will stay like it is for millions and millions of years, unless it is heated up or crushed. So this in itself is a bit of crystallized spirit, very important. And this can reflect the spirit. This can reflect the energy. Light will hit this. This will reflect the light. Electromagnetism can hit this. Energy, electricity can do stuff with this. There's an interaction. But spirit itself, information can be held in here. That's what computers are. So this is pure matter, but pure matter as such that it will be able to reflect or transmit pure spirit, or amplify messages. This is why all this is used by psychics and healers. And I'll be doing much more about this in time. But here you can see the basic overall pattern. Now the soul, which is what we are a singularity of spirit, a singularity of ether, And that singularity has come into existence because a body has come into existence. These two things work together. So again, there's a lot of confusion about this. There is a separation between the soul and the body. They are different things, but the soul is the experience that spirit has in the material realm. There is time and space here. There is time and space. You see that the soul experiences time and space, but the spirit is outside time and space. It doesn't affect the spirit. Nothing to do with time and space. Time and space is down here. We can do things. We can experience life, just get on with it and enjoy our life. And then when we die, when we pass away, the singularity can separate and go back to spirit. But sometimes what happens is the soul from here moves on. The soul can advance further. Or the soul can have a certain level of power. In other words, here's the soul, and now here's the body. So here's the body lying down. So the body now passed away, and the soul and the body have separated. But they haven't fully separated. In other words, this soul is connected to this body. The form, the structure, this is still in the material realm. This body is no longer alive, it's no longer animated because the soul is separated, but the soul is still intrinsically connected to it. This soul is made up of information that comes from this body. You see, up here is spirit. Up here is spirit. This is in the infinity. And the soul is heading towards spirit, but it is still connected to the body. As long as this has a personality, it is still connected to the body. The personality is created due to the connection of the body, due to the creation of the body. So this is why you do not underestimate the body. The spiritual people will also, and a lot of this is, again, the body doesn't matter. I am an immortal soul. I'm an immortal soul. Don't worry about the body. No. The body is important. Now, this is why the body is buried. You know, some people bury the body so that the body doesn't disappear immediately. And the soul can still sort of hang around because the body is still existing. And the masters of the past, you know, the Tao masters and even the Buddhist masters, they would go into deep, deep meditation. They knew about this. They would meditate, and towards the end of their days, they would go to a cave, and as they would go to the cave, they would slowly pass away in this meditation, but they would mummify themselves. There's again mummification, another thing. Why mummify the body? So that the body can last forever and ever and ever, a long period of time. You are preserving the body, and that allows this soul or this personality to still be connected to the material realm. Now, when you burn the body is gone. This soul is harder for it to connect. It's harder to connect to the physical world, and it will go off to spirit. So again, in some spiritual religious practices, we burn the body to set the soul free. The soul can go off to spirit and be free. In other ones, we keep hold of the body so that soul can hang around here. Now, the trouble is, if we had an enjoyable life and everybody loves you, then you might want them to hang around. We want them, you know, a loved one pass away, I want to know they're around me. We like that idea. We want to go and visit the body. And you've got this in other traditions, you know, underground burials where all the skeletons are there, you can go and visit them. And it is nothing morbid, it's just because that is a connection to the soul. You can go and connect to that soul through the body. And these monks do it in the same way. They actually mummified in this meditation position, locked away in a cave so no one will find them. But it means their soul has still got a connection to their body. And in fact, it means they haven't fully died. Now, these guys have gone to a level of mastery where they have not fully died. In other words, they are still an intact personality with a connection to the material realm through this body. If you go to Thailand, there's a Buddhist monk, and they've got him in a glass box in the temple, and he's mummified, and they believe he's still alive. You know, he's mummified 100 years, but he's not decaying very fast. He seems to be decaying very slowly. And they say he's in a deep, deep state of meditation. He's still alive. And this is what they mean. And you can look at all these things, ancient Egypt, blah, blah, blah. But what's going on here, this is not necessarily a good thing, because this can be also a very painful, negative thing. You know, so if this is an unpleasant life, Or an unpleasant person, you don't want them soul hanging around, you want them to go off. Go off to spirit, be set free. Leave us alone, because this sort of personality will cause trouble. There's troublemakers in the real world, so there's going to be troublemakers here as well. Remember, this is just how it works. I'm not saying this is good or bad. But a high-level master will be doing this for a reason. They are pursuing higher wisdom. Wisdom. And the wisdom is up in the spirit. And the longer your personality can stay intact, the more wisdom you can achieve. And if you can achieve this wisdom, you become a useful person. You are a useful spirit. You're going around helping people. And this you might call an angel. Again, I'm defining it. So this is not a religious thing. It's not a religious thing. This is just a higher level personality, a genuine one that is set free but not yet returned to spirit. They've got a lot of wisdom and they're going around helping other people. So these guys, we don't mind having them hanging around helping us. But you also get troublemakers, don't you? Here's a troublemaker. Let's do the horns. So here's a troublemaker. We don't want the troublemakers. They make trouble in the real world, and they'll make trouble up here. But what's interesting, you see, these people, these troublemakers, they're very, very attached. They're enjoying life here. But when they enjoy life here, they're enjoying life by taking away other people's energy. We know people like that. Toxic people, energy vampires. And they'll still do the same thing if they're in this state. So what I'm talking about, again, I'm talking about now the sort of supernatural, the ghost world, the spirit world. So giving you a little bit of an introduction to it. But we don't need to worry about it. The reason we don't need to worry about it is because we have ultimate and total control of our own soul. And if we know this, and if we know this ability, we have this ability to focus our soul, we will build an aura. And it's very easy to build an aura. This is all done with soul power. You have to make a clear decision. This is my aura. Boom, it's there. Nothing gets in. Nothing will bother you. No other spirits can bother you. Physical people, you do get troublemakers. Here's a guy with a weapon. Physical troublemakers could still have a go, but you've got a chance. You'll have a little sense before they even, something's not right here. I'm getting out of here. I don't like this area. Let's cross over the road. Let's go somewhere else. You'll get a little sense before anything happens to you. And we can all build this aura straight away. So this spirit realm, all these, if there's dodgy characters in the spirit realm, we don't have to worry about that. I'll do some more videos in time that if any of you do feel that you are bothered by negative energy, or you're bothered by hauntings or paranormal things happening to you, I'll do a video in time explaining what you can do for that. But just out of interest, you see, if you do have a haunted place, again, my theory, you have let's here you've got a haunted house. So here's a haunted house. Here's the house, all right. So you have a haunted house that there's a spirit, a soul hanging around in this house, but their body is buried. Their body is buried here. So outside the house, let's just say their body is buried here. Here's the gravestone. And this house is haunted. If you could dig up this body and destroy it, burn it, so now you burn this body, it would immediately reduce the haunting of this house. Because this soul has got a connection to this house, because it lived there. It's also got a connection to that body, because this body created this soul. These two things were formed together. This soul comes from pure spirit. Okay, this is the initial process. Pure spirit forms a soul, but this soul is formed because pure spirit is forming a body. Pure spirit grows a body, and in order to animate the body, there needs to be a singularity of spirit to animate this. So these two things happen together, but afterwards you can have a remnant of this soul continuing. And this is not reincarnation. Now you can have reincarnation if this soul is strong enough. It can find a way of getting into a new body. So here's a lady, pregnant lady. Oops, it's terrible. So here we got someone pregnant. So this soul could find a way to reincarnate, but it requires a particular type of soul to do this. And even the legends will say, again, some of the legends of the Taoist immortals, if they find a dying body, someone who's just about to die, the soul could come in and reanimate them. So that this will be the same old body but with a new soul in it. So now we're talking about possessions and channelings. But what I'm talking about here is very, very rare. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. I'm talking about the principle of this. Mostly what we've got in the psychic world with channeling and even possessions is very low level stuff. It's very low level stuff. You're just tuning into the spirit. You're tuning into this information, and all sorts of things are in this information. All sorts of things. So it's not what you'd call genuine astral traveling. It's more like astral projection. You can just tune in. You can tune in and filter some information down. The trouble is when you tune in and filter information down, it's filtered through your brain. Here's your brain here. So a psychic is going to filter the information of spirit through their brain and then tell you about it. But this filter of their brain is not perfect. So you can't really take it. Any psychic says ever, you can't take it too seriously. You can have a listen and say, oh, well, okay, there's some interesting things there. But remember, it's filtered through their brain. The best way to get the information you need is to tune into spirit yourself. You've got to do your own meditation. You've got to find your own wisdom. And mostly we're tuning into spirit. We're asking a psychic for virtually irrelevant things. We want to talk to our loved ones. Are they still all right? If you understand this, you wouldn't worry about that. You'd be able to find them yourself. You just close your eyes, go to spirit, and look for them. You'll feel them. And sometimes they'll talk to you, or they'll talk to you in dreams. But you see, we don't want to bother doing this. We go and ask a psychic, and they tell us. And you'll ask information, am I going to be rich? Am I going to get married? Again, you're thinking very low level, trivial things, and you can't ask such questions because you cannot predict the future. No psychic can predict the future. The future hasn't happened. It doesn't exist. So you can't say what's going to happen in the future. You can't travel to the future. And even the past doesn't exist. You can look back to the past, but all you're doing is tuning into memories, and memories are subjective. So no psychic will be able to tell you about the past properly either. They'll give you some glimpses. They can talk archetypally. You might get a few bits and bobs. Oh, that sounds interesting. But you can't take it ever too serious. The only way you'll ever know is in your own soul. You yourself have got to tune into spirit and find this out for yourself. And this is what we're doing in this training. We've got to build our chi, build our soul power, build our connection to spirit and our connection to the material realm. This is important. So do not dismiss. The spiritual people tend to dismiss the material world. You mustn't. Look, this is the material world. So the spiritual people will use that, but they don't really think about it. This is the material realm. This is also spirit. So when I hold this, I am connecting to spirit. But it's matter. My body is feeling it. But my soul is also feeling it. So this is a unified theory, you see. This is grand unified field theory. And the grand unified field is ether, but I can also call the grand unified field the spirit. And I talked about this for many, many years in different ways. And I used to call this the great mystery. The great mystery. This was my way of talking about it. And this is kind of shamanic. So the spirit, the ether, inertia is the great mystery. We can never fully understand it because it's beyond time and space. We enter into the great mystery, and we reach to the great mystery to ask questions and get answers. So how do we do that? Let's talk about that now. How do we, as beings, living beings in this material realm, singularities of spirit, a soul, but in this body, how do we touch this great mystery, the spirit? How do we get the information, the wisdom that we need? So let's look at it once more. Here's our body, and there is our center of awareness. There's our body. Here's our heart. This is the seat of the soul. And here's our body. This is the center of gravity. Now this is our soul, and our soul is also the mind. And the mind splits into the subconscious mind, which is the dream. Let's do it like this. This is the dream. And into the wake. So we have the waking mind, which is the conscious mind, goes up here to the senses, and the dream, which is the subconscious mind, goes down here to the body. And you see the dream connects to the body. All the internal organs, all the things going on in our body are recording everything that happens to us. It's like a program. The human body, as it is growing, it is recording everything that's happening to it. Information is coming to it, and it is growing, but also the information coming to it is based on the things that are happening to it. So when we have a subconscious mind, is the programs we picked up and the memories in our body. So the subconscious mind goes down here to the belly. And the belly is the second brain. This is also known as the second brain. Here's the first brain. But there's now, I think, 4 brains. Even the heart is thought of as a brain. The cells in the heart are like neurons, like brain cells. And there's another brain called the microbiome. As I said earlier, this whole body is made up of bacteria. There's more bacteria than there are cells. And our cells are dependent on mitochondria, which are independent bacteria. So we are built out of bacteria. All these little guys get together and they're helping us create a body. So we should not hate on the bacteria. We should love the bacteria. We are that. That's what we are. All the bacteria, come on buddies, help me. We've got to eat all the bacteria. This is part of our diet. We've got to eat cheese, kefir, yogurts, kombucha, all these things, fermented foods, or any type of bacteria. Raw foods have all got bacteria on them. We need that. Even raw meat, raw fish, sushi, raw salad, berries. It's all the bacteria. We need that. There's nothing wrong with this. We've just been told there is. We've been put in a state of fear to control us. And we're breaking out of this. This whole thing is to break out of this. This is to gain our soul power back, our independence, our sovereignty. Take back the charge of our own body. This body is under the control of an external thing. Who are these people? Well, I'm calling them the Sith. If you know Star Wars, the Sith are the bad guys. But these are powerful bad guys, extreme, pathological, sociopathic narcissists. And these are the people that are ruling the world. I don't want to say their name, but we already know some of them. Let's put one name down here. But I'm not for long. We know. All right, we'll call him that. Bill G. We know this. And you can look into all this. But I don't want to give power to them by even mentioning their names. It's not that I'm scared of them, but they deserve not even a thought out of our mind. But we want to be the Jedi, and I'm going to talk more about this in the next lecture. So the Jedi is self-control. Here the Jedi comes from pure spirit. They take the wisdom from the pure spirit. They are not taking control or taking information from other people, in particular nefarious other people. But this is the programming we're getting. And this programming is actually coming into our subconscious mind. It is the subconscious. This is the realm of hypnosis. And we need to gain control of this. This is why all this body work is important. The reason your body is out of alignment is because of bad programming. If you can realign your body, it will reset your programming. This is how you're going to break. You're going to break the mind control. Bob Marley said it, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. This is how you do it. And we do it by building a strong soul power with a strong connection to the pure ether, the pure spirit, and a strong connection to our own body, our own center of gravity. We've got to feel our body. Every cell in our body we are in control of. And furthermore, when we control that, we control our energy and we control the aura. And none of these guys can get in. None of these guys can get in. So the soul splits into the dream and the wake. And you can see the waking mind is moving up towards consciousness. The dream is moving down towards subconscious. So here's conscious. And the conscious is how we perceive, how we interact with the external world, the material realm. But the subconscious, I said, is programming. And it's been pretty much proven, but most of what we do is programming. 90% of what we do all day is a habit. We have created a habit. Everything is a habit. And it's a program. That means we switch off. We're not really awake and we just do it. We're doing everything in a dream. We are zombies. We are doing everything in a dream. And where does that dream come from? Comes from these I nearly said something bad. These buggers, right? But zombies, or we could call them NPCs. That's the new one, NPCs. An NPC is programmed by these guys, the overlords. And this is real. If you don't believe this, go back to what we talked about, the virus. Where did the story of the virus come from? This comes from big families who brought up the medical system a long time ago, and they knew full well that germ theory was not correct. But it was more profitable. You can create a lot of stories, and a virus is a good excuse. There's a good excuse to release a poison or release any kind of disruption to us. You know, frequencies will disrupt. You know, we know that. We've got frequencies, again, supposedly. Again, there's some contention of what this really is. But it doesn't matter. Whatever frequency is coming in, this aura will also prevent you. This will protect you. But it means a virus is a good cover for anything. Oh, it wasn't us. It was a virus. And we're trying to help you. We're trying to help you fight this virus. Remember, the original meaning of this was a poison. And what do they want? They want these guys. They want you to be these guys. They want you to be these. I'm not going to say it either. They want you to be servants so that they can live their life of the emperor. But we are all our own emperor. We don't want to be any of this stuff. So we want to gain control of our dream. This is how they control us. Through the subconscious mind, they program our body. Once you gain control of your body, it's very hard to control you. Very hard for you to be hypnotized. Now, I can't be hypnotized. I know it full well because as a child, I'll tell you a story. As a child, so I had a difficult life, difficult emotional things, all sorts of things. As a young child, so I had that problem. My mother took me to a hypnotist to try and fix me. And he just couldn't hypnotize me. I was only young. I was following his things he's telling me. And he's like, now lift your hand up, floating. And I was thinking, should I lift my hand up? And I wasn't lifting my hand. And now lift your hand. Oh, he wants me to lift my hand. Okay, I'll lift my hand up. So I was in full control of my mind, listening to him, wondering and waiting. Is anything going to happen yet? Nothing happened. And I know if I go to a hypnosis show, you see, if you go to a hypnosis show, they will have to select you. They'll select a group and work. Now this guy is most susceptible. We'll use them. But I would be dismissed immediately. Oh, this guy's not going to play ball. Off you go. But we don't want to be susceptible to hypnosis. We really don't. We want to control, and if the secret is feeling the control in your body, feeling your body, you will sense it. You'll feel. Hang on a second. Someone's making me feel odd here. Someone's making me feel bad. And when people make you feel bad, this is the beginning of taking your energy. It's the beginning of taking your energy. So the first thing we've got to understand is to take control of our dream, our subconscious mind. And this is a high level thing to do as well, because there is an advanced thing where you actually sleep. You can wake up in your sleep. There's a high level advancement of your dream. And when you're awake, again, you're not distracted. I'm not fully distracted by the outside world. I'm still aware of the dream. I'm looking at the outside world, but I'm still feeling what's going on inside. And this is again how they get you. They distract you with being awake and looking at something. But while you're looking at something, oh, look at this dancing fairy, look at this. While they do that, they put the programming in the subconscious. You see, so between these two things, you can be controlled. And we need to control ourselves from the center. The subconscious mind is programming. And this programming we've got really guides everything we do. Our whole life, whether we're happy or sad, is a result of this programming. When we're born down here from pure spirit, pure infinity, we incarnate as the singularity of consciousness. We're perfectly happy. We're in perfect balance. We don't know anything. We're still just pure spirit. Oh, this world is wonderful. Look at that. And then suddenly you get something hits you, you're introduced to pain. And now that pain, oh man, okay, I understand this world now. It's not quite as good as I thought. And as you get older and older, eventually by the time you're super old, here you go, as an old person with a walking stick. The old person now, oh, there's so much pain, they're not enjoying life anymore. I'm fed up. And then, of course, you just want to go back to pure infinity, and then you die. This is the end. But we don't want to do this. Don't have to do this. This is happening because the programming is building up and up and up. This world is pain. Yeah, you're getting older, you're getting dying. This programming, oh, now finished. You don't have to follow this programming. You can do something else. You can regenerate. You have to just keep your own programming. Yeah, I keep the program of being a strong young body. You've got to tell yourself this. So you reprogram yourself. And this programming, there's a name for it, it's called Psychocybernetics. You can look into it, a book been written, I think, by Maxwell Maltz. But the idea is, say you want to lose weight, and you're trying to lose weight, you can't lose weight. It's because you have the programming in your mind that you are a larger person. I am a heavier person. And you can't let that program go. So you do work, you lose weight, I've lost weight. But it doesn't fit with the program. You think, oh, this feels odd. I'm thinner now, but I'm not a thin person. I'm a fat person. And then so your body unconsciously goes back to being overweight again. So you've got to break that program. And if you can break that program, you automatically lose weight. You don't have to do any particular work. You will naturally exercise because you have changed the program. You've told yourself, I am a young, fit, active person. And you've told yourself that you've reprogrammed your subconscious mind to be a younger, fitter, active person. And because of that, you lose weight. You've forgotten all about weight. But because you're so obsessed with weight, I'm a heavy person, that program is in there and you fulfill it. You've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's what we want to break. That is what all this training is about. And it's the same in the body. Everyone we've seen is moving about like this in a bad posture. So you've learnt it. Oh, I've learnt to move. This is how you move. You have to retrain yourself to stand in a better posture and move like this. The problem is not many people are standing in a good posture. So you're on your own. I'm doing my best in this channel to show you a good posture, but I'm not perfect. And you'll see, I hope to keep this channel going indefinitely. And in years to come, you'll be able to see my progress. My posture should get better over the years. But we all got to keep improving. And we get that information directly from spirit. You don't have to copy anyone else down here. So this spirit, this soul here, let's have a look at one more thing here. This is important. This is where you get this is how we can understand the creation of energy. So once more, this is our heart center. Here's our heart center. So this is the bit here. This is the seat of the soul. And the soul has got the conscious mind, the waking mind. So the waking mind is looking out. The waking mind is looking out. And then you've got the dream. So I'll do the dream this way now. The dream. The dream is looking in. The dream is looking in. This comes from the body. So this dreaming is your eyes, your senses closed, you're looking inwards. The feedback is coming from inside. But this is also emotion. Emotions are the key. Emotions are life. You see, spirit, pure spirit, creates life through creating a complex structure, and this complex structure requires a soul. So spirit creates a soul and a body. But what is that? That is an experience. That experience is energy. I am experiencing energy. That is emotion. Emotion is the experience of energy. But it is more than that. It is the creation of energy. It is the creation of energy. This is spirit creating energy. And energy moves the body. Okay, whoops. So energy moves the body. Energy moves the body. But you will also have destruction. Destruction. See, energy is also destroyed. It returns back to inertia. So when we create energy, we feel good. This is happy. Now you know this. When you're feeling happy, it's the soul opens up, the heart opens up. You want to go out and do things. I want to do something. Yeah, come on. When you feel sad, this is the emotional energy returning back to inertia. It's like this is the polarity, the energy going back in again. So here, okay, let's change this from dream and awake. Let's call this happy and sad. And sad. So sad is entropy. It's the energy returning back. It's like, now I'm sad. What do you do? What happens when you're sad? You want to curl up. You just want to go and lie in bed and go to sleep. What is sleep? Sleep is the return to inertia, the point of inertia in the middle here. You've got to go look at the last lecture again. But sleep, it's the same as death. As we get older, and I'm tired now, I'm fed up of life, I've done it all, there's too much pain, I just want to die. You want to go to sleep, you want to return to inertia, you want to return to spirit, pure infinity. But what you don't realize, that spirit is right in the middle of you. You don't have to die to get this back. We think we have to die. You don't have to go to sleep to get this back. You have to go inwards. This is the secret of immortality. This is the secret of how these people could build their personality into a powerful soul that can live on. But you remember, why would you want to live on? You'd have to want to live on. That means you're experiencing so much happiness, you're enjoying life. Most of us don't even want to live, we're sad. I can't wait to go. Do you want to live forever? No, I'm too tired. So you can see here, emotion, energy is created. When it's created, you have these good feelings. And when energy is destroyed, it's coming back, it's disappearing again. It's sad, I'm going in, I'm going to curl up, I'm going to go down. It's going inwards, it's going away, back to inertia, it's being destroyed. So we ourselves are creating and destroying energy. And this is the same way the free energy machine works. See, energy is the same. The energy is still emotion. The energy is in this crystal. There's emotion locked in this crystal. It's locked emotion. But it's not emotion like a human emotion like we would experience it. But I can tune into this and feel the energy of it. You see, but there's more than just the energy of this. This is also a receiver. This is resonating with all different energies. So I can use this as an object to help me tune into something. But we want to know what we're tuning into. We always want to tune into this, tune into wisdom. And again, a lot of all these spiritual people, the New Age movement, we're all tuning into different masters and we've all got different religions and all this stuff. None of what I'm saying is religious. None of this is religious. This is pure science. This is pure metaphysics. And the only thing we should be tuning into is pure wisdom itself. The pure infinite ether, pure spirit. There's no individual personality here. There's not a personality. This is the unconscious mind. This is the great mystery. All other personalities, you can have an angel, I was talking about here, another soul. This could help you. This could help you. But this angel, if it's a true angel, it will help you to connect to pure spirit. Now, if it's a dodgy character, you're going to have dodgy ones. They won't. They will want you to connect to them. They want your energy. They want your energy. And because here the soul is creating and destroying energy, we have it in our power to create this feeling of happiness. We have to create it. So we can create energy and we can also destroy it. And the trick is to keep on creating it and hold it in our aura. Build up our singular power here. Create it and circulate. Create it and circulate. Don't give it away. You see these toxic people, energy vampires, they want to get your energy. So how does it work? They make you feel bad. I mean, you see it in children. Happy child. A bully comes along and then they're crying. And the bully's happy now. They get energy because you're happy. They make you feel sad. And because they have made you feel sad, they've destroyed your happiness. That destruction of your happiness has come towards them. They have literally sucked your happiness out and they feel strong now. And you feel weak. So we must not let people make us feel bad. It happens in a small way and it happens in a big way. Be very wary, feel it. You'll know when you're in the company of a good person, you'll feel uplifted, you'll feel inspired, you'll feel energized. When you're in the company of a person that is toxic or not so positive, you'll feel a bit down, you'll feel a bit run down afterwards, you'll feel distracted, there'll be worries in your mind now. They've taken your energy. And you want to be careful of this. This is why you need a strong aura. That's what this training is all about. This is Jedi training. The very first thing in Jedi training is to build your aura, your self-awareness. You've got to be aware. The universe is filled with these people. But it's also filled with these people. And you want to be one of these. Don't want to be one of these. But you see, we create energy and we also absorb energy. And this is how it works. These people are stealing your energy. So they're not creating it. They haven't really created it. What they're doing is they're absorbing it. They're absorbing it. They're absorbing it through this way. So that in a way, when they make you feel sad, they've accessed this part of you. Energy is coming out. And they take that in. They're taking your good feeling, absorbing it in, and you're just reducing. Your soul is going down and down and down, and they're feeling stronger. So these people are vampires. And these vampires are the real deal. It's the real deal. It doesn't work quite well. It does work because these vampires are increasing the strength of their soul, and so this soul might turn out to be an immortal soul going off, but they're not a very nice one. We don't like this one. So you want to find one of these, dig up the body and burn it. Again, this is YouTube. This is pure speculation. None of this should be done. Don't do any of these things I'm telling you. But they will also, you see, what is that? A vampire. They will also drink your life. They will drink your life fluid, won't they? They will drink this. The life blood, I'll say it like this, the life blood can be ingested, and they do. And by doing that, especially if you're drinking living fluid, which is a really evil thing to do, and if you're drinking the living fluid with this adrenalized, if you're drinking adrenalized fluid, this is the most potent. We're going to talk about this in another lecture. We're talking about the essence of life. Fluids are very important. All these different fluids in the body connect to the energy through the spirit in the body. But this is quite literal. This goes back through all time. You know, you had cannibals. What about the cannibals? Why did they eat their enemy? Because they were absorbing the power of their enemy's soul. What happens when you take it to the limit? You know, sacrifice the person, rip out the heart, you rip out the beating heart, and you eat it. You know, this is absorbing the soul. It's quite literal. In there is mitochondria, living mitochondria. When you eat it, there's a lot going on. You're absorbing it. So these people are still trying to do this stuff, but they're stealing the energy to do it. And they're creating terrible pain and misery to do it. These are the Sith. Remember, these are the Sith Lords. This is the dark side of the Force. And again, I'm going to do a whole lecture on this in time. Defense against the dark arts. But this, just for now, you need to understand how energy works. We create energy, and so we can create or we destroy it. If we choose to continue to be miserable and getting older, sicker and sicker, our energy is dissipating and we want to go back, and that's causing us to die. If we choose to be happy, positive, proactive, creative, this will create energy and this will keep us going longer. And these people, bad people, they will make you feel sad, they will make you feel down to take your energy. And they will do it in all these different ways. And this is the real physical way they do it, and they will do it emotionally, and they will do it subliminally. That's where we're talking about these things. What is this? What is a virus? A virus is simply a vehicle to make you feel very scared, very sad, and your energy comes out. And when the energy goes to them, oh, they got the power. Now they control your mind as well. Now they control you. So you don't even have a connection to spirit anymore. Your connection is to these guys, the Sith. You're not even aware of it. You just become an autonomous robot doing what these guys want. You become, you become a servant. But I'm going to write it here. You will become a servant, which you don't want to be. You are the master of yourself. And this training is all about that. And now, so once you've got this basic level, of understanding that you are your own master, you've got the control of your own energy field, no one can control you, you've got the control of your own emotions, you can create energy, you're not wasting energy, and you can control the life force. Now you can still evolve higher. And like I said, now if you're a master, if you become a master like one of these monks sitting in a cave, got to the level of suspended animation, you know, again the Tao masters was suspended animation, and they go off in their etheric body. The singularity of consciousness can go off, but it requires this body in the cave as an anchor. This gives them an anchor, and this can become so strong that this anchor, disappears and becomes a skeleton. It will become down a skeleton. This skeleton is still perfectly fine for them. In the bones are crystal. Bones are crystalline. So this is like a crystal. This is a crystal recording all the information of this soul that it needs. So this soul can go off. But where does it go? Where does this soul go? What does it do? Well, this guy goes off into the whole universe. He can go off to other planets. He can go off into stars. He can go and have a look at black holes. There's a black hole. He can go off into the pure ether, into consciousness, into spirit. He can find out information. He can influence big things. So it might be the world here, the earth is happening. And he can see things, he or she, but there's not really he or she anymore. He or she is only down here. This is something else now. This is just a singularity of consciousness. He might see different projects happening down here. And I know these guys are doing something good, I want to help them. And it just helps supply some energy to them. And some people down here might be praying, they might be praying, but they're praying to a good one, and he will say, oh, okay, that guy needs some help. I'll send him a little something. So he's free to do whatever he wants. Off he goes. And this theory here, and again you look in Star Wars, the other theory is the Tao Master and Yoda, when he passes away, disappears, doesn't he? The body just vanishes. Boop, 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 boop. Another theory of the Tao Masters are a true Tao Master, when they die, the body actually dissolves. It actually disappears, just like Yoda. And not only does the body disappear, so the spirit is now transmuted. The entire energy of this body, every single atom in this body has been transmuted into this singularity of consciousness. Now, this is very, very high level, but it has sort of been proven. It has been proven at the point of death, the body does weigh slightly less. There is some slight reduction in weight, as if there has been some transmutation of matter going on. And this guy then goes off. So this guy goes off. And they also say that when this guy goes off, there's sometimes a new star appears in the universe. So they also say that, in other words, this consciousness has become so powerful that it is actually now no longer creating a human body, it's creating a much larger cosmic object, a star. So that means all the stars in the universe are very high level advanced beings. So that's when I talk about go connect to the North Star. So the North Star is important because when you connect out to the universe, you want to make sure you're connecting to the right place. And the North Star links to the Earth. So this guy through his body is still connected to the Earth. The Earth is a very important anchor point. All of these is an anchor point. This crystal is an anchor point for the spirit, for the soul. So anyway, this guy, of high level being, off he goes, and he can do whatever he likes. Now, again, we've got a limited idea of ourselves. We just think in ourselves small, and we think, oh well, we want to pray to these guys. It's not that we pray to these guys, but it's just nice to know. It's nice to know there's some nice, good people out there. And you still got some dodgy ones here. There's some dodgy dark forces as well. Dodgy dark forces. I don't know what to do, how to draw that. But these, again, are very simple. These are very low level. These have no wisdom. They have no wisdom. They're completely locked in pain, so they cannot have any wisdom. And all you just need a little bit of wisdom. And these are just like flies. Nothing. Don't worry about these at all. And really, our goal is to become one of these guys ourselves. Reach up to the wisdom. We learn directly, and the way you can practice this is your deep meditation. Meditate in your point of inertia, and you have a question. Any question you want to find the answer to, you ask the question. You ask it deep inside here, and you connect to this wisdom, the pure infinity. And you wait. You wait. The answer will come to you. The answer will come to you. And this is the final point of this lecture, is inspiration. Inspiration. And this is again what differentiates a high level living being, is the amount of inspiration that you can get. And this is why a computer or a robot can never be self-aware. They can never have an inspiration. Inspiration is that pure spirit information coming to you spontaneously, bam! Because right here in the center of your soul, the point of inertia, or this point of inertia, any one, that is the infinite wisdom. You've touched the center for a minute. And from here all things are possible, all answers are present. And you've just got to ask and it will come. And artists, creative people know that. Where did you get that idea from? I don't know, it just came to me. You'll get it in a dream. So this, you can also get inspiration in a dream. And you can get it in awake when you're thinking about things. Inspiration comes. And again, these other guys can also help you out. An angel, let's call these guys angels, that's just the nicest word. Angels can give you a little inspiration in a dream, and also a little inspiration in the wake. And if you have a passed away loved one that you know is a very special, powerful person, you can close your eyes and look for them and find them. They're there in the infinite. All infinity is there, everyone is there. But they also might be hanging around and they might find you, you can find them. And that's a lovely thing to know. It's very, very comforting. You see, the ancient wild men, the natural people would live. This is one universe. The spirit world and the physical world is one thing. These guys are not gone anywhere. They're here with us. We've been taught this materialistic, dualistic life, and that makes us very scared, very small, very afraid. And we've been sold all these lies, all these scams to be keeping us under control. And they want to keep us under control because they want our energy. It all boils down to the Sith. This is literally Star Wars, the Sith. These people, whether they are aware of it or not. And I would say some of these top guys from generations of all these secret societies, and there are lots of them, they know what they're doing. They do a lot of dark rituals. They're going to do this stuff. They're going to do this stuff for real. And they're never going to tell us, but they will, because I know this stuff is for real. And they have so much power, so much wealth, so many generations going all the way back to the emperors, you go back to Egypt, all this. So they will be doing this stuff. They will be doing this stuff. And they want our energy. They want a sacrifice. What is a sacrifice? Like I said, it's going all the way back to cannibals. Sacrifice the person, eat the heart. It's to capture their energy. But they're doing it on a mass scale, an industrial scale. This is the empire. This is the empire. And we've got to be the Jedi. And we, as the Jedi, we work together. And there are Jedi friends. We've got Jedi friends in the ether. Powerful beings. Angels. Real things. These are not dead. These are singularities of consciousness. And we ourselves, here in the body, got to do the same thing. Build our strength, build our center, and be ready. And this does not need to bother us. In fact, we're working against this. And this is too powerful at the moment. This is too powerful. This needs to be knocked back. This needs to be knocked back. And we're in the process of knocking this back. The new technology is required to knock this back. And I'm sitting on some very interesting technology. But this whole series of lectures, I'm working up to it. The final lecture, I'm going to talk about solutions. Real world solutions to this Sith empire that we're living in. We don't believe we've got any power. We think these guys, well, there's no point doing anything now. That I've got to pay my taxes. I've got to follow the game. Yeah, we have to follow the game. We follow the game of the empire, but at the same time, we build our strength, build our soul. Remember, this is outside the empire. No one can control this. And a final thought, there was a guy who lived through the concentration camps in the Second World War, with that terrible guy, the terrible guy with the moustache, running these things, destroying everyone. And he survived through those concentration camps when everyone, all his family were destroyed, were ended. And he realized, there's a book about it, and unfortunately I can't remember the name of the guy or the book, but you'll have to look into it. But he survived it, and he realized these guys can control my body. They can do whatever they like to my body, but they cannot control my mind. And he lived out through that hell. While everyone else died and succumbed to it, he never let them have his mind, and he survived it, came out of it and wrote the book about it. And he has a strong mind. It did not get him down. He became stronger because of it. Now that's 1 in a billion. 1 in a billion of us would have the ability to survive the horrors of that and not let it get you down. But if this guy could do it, we get, I've got to pay my taxes, and we go down. Listen, we're not in a concentration camp having to survive this. So if this guy could survive it, we can survive it. We must not let the Sith Empire get us down. And we do it by training our body. So if you're suffering depression, you're suffering problems, get into your body, go down the gym, train your body. And when you train your body, the most important thing to think about is your posture. So even if you forget everything else I'm doing, whatever exercise you do, try and do it in a better posture, a better form. That will align your magnetic field. Your magnetic field will align better. That will center your energy better. Centering your energy better will give more power to your soul. And more power to your soul will give you a stronger connection to spirit, a stronger connection to your own body. You will command this, and that will give you a strong aura. You will become an independent, self-sovereign being on this earth. That's the ultimate goal. And then you can control your life, and you can enjoy life. This world is abundant. Everything we need is here. These guys are telling us it's not. You're living in scarcity, not enough of this, not enough of that. Your fault. These are the guys creating a story. Remember, they're trying to program our subconscious mind to take our energy. They need their energy because these guys are not creating it. They're not creating happiness. They're stealing happiness. These guys are always miserable, never fulfilled. That's why they've got to continually take us. This is a black hole. That's why it's called the dark force, the dark side. It's a black hole. And that's why you can't hang around these people too much. They'll just suck you dry. All your happiness will be drained, and it will be drained forevermore, because they're not stopping. They will never be happy. They will keep taking and taking. And this is where we've got these toxic relationships. One guy's always taking and one one's always giving. And we'll change him. He might change, or she might change. They can't change because they never stop. They're always stealing. They've learned to steal, not create. You've got to create. If you're a creator, watch out, because someone else might come and steal it. It's a reality. It's the way of things. But it is still just a way of creation and destruction. When someone is stealing from you, they are operating on the principle of destruction. They're operating on the principle of entropy. And you are entitled to respond to that and say, no, I don't operate on this principle of entropy. I operate on this principle of energy, inspiration, wisdom. I'm a Jedi. So no, no, no. You say no to the Sith Empire. So I hope this lecture made sense. I'm going to be doing some videos with exercises together with this to build our emotional strength and work that side of things. If you haven't seen the other lectures, do go back and look at them, because they all connect and they lead up to this one. But thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.